Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shah, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shah, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shah, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Raha Kadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. It's your brother Yakar Abin back with another lesson. You know, and like to give double honors to the men that taught our elders and apostles. You know, so in these days, we can come back to our power. As prophesied in the Holy Scriptures. But I was watching a video earlier today, and you know, a guy was asking about Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. So I'm going to read it, and hopefully hopefully this lesson will be edifying. It says, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So let's go on. Let's go on and get some of these words. Okay, so here's patience, to be steadfast and consistency, endurance, G5281, hypo hypomony, hypomony, endurance, consistency, patience, consistency. Okay, so to be patient and consistent, and it says, and faith. Okay, we know what faith is. G4102 is pistis, conviction of truth of anything, belief. In the New Testament, of a conviction or belief respecting man's relationship to the power and divine things, generally with the let's get it. Come on, faith. Hebrews 11. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for the evidence of things not seen. So that's the definition of faith. But this is the faith of the saints. So who are the saints? It says G40, hagios, most holy thing, a saint. Okay, so who are the saints according to the scriptures? The scriptures break it down. It says Psalms chapter 50 and verse 5, it says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So who made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? This is Exodus chapter 24. This is Exodus 24 and 4, and it says, and Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. The Lord's name is Yahweh, which means he is, and his son's name is Yahweh Shah. So Yahweh Shah means he is a deliverer. So Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, in the name of Yahweh Shah, and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel would offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, have said we will do and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. So, so that being the definition of saint, that Psalms 50:5, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So this is that covenant that was made by sacrifice. It was a blood covenant. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh have said we will do and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. So, I mean, that right there explains who is talking about in Revelation 13:10. But that being said, the Lord said that he was going to send his people into captivity. So if the Lord sent his people into captivity, and then he said, well, hey, those that, you serve captivity under, I'm going to put them in captivity as well. And it says this all throughout the scriptures. If you have ears to hear and eyes to see, you know, it's lucky. But Israel has always been known as the Lord's chosen people. This is Exodus chapter 4 and verse 21. It says, and the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand, but I will harden his heart that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy firstborn, even I will flay Salakia, and say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. If thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. So the Lord has the Lord has designated Israel as his son, and the Lord is only dealing with Israel. The Lord is not dealing with the other nations. The other nations did not have a covenant with him by sacrifice, but the other nations are still, under the control of the Most High. The Most High is in control of all things. So he punished his people, the children of Israel, but that punishment is not going to last forever. Just like if you have a son, if you have a son and you tell them not to do something and they go ahead and do it anyway, you know, they're gonna get punished. They're gonna get punished. The dude down the street, you're not really concerned about the guy down the street because your son is to be raised up to be a ruler. So, you're going to punish your son, but that doesn't mean that, you're going to forsake him. That just means that, he's got to go through some things to learn the error of his ways. And that's exactly how the whole Bible has played out, with the Lord and his son or his sons, because the only begotten is Yahweh Shah, but Yahweh Shai has joint heirs, the house of Israel. You know, this is we're gonna get it. This is Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 21, and it says, "And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. For the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh, their power, from that day and forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they transgressed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they by the sword. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore saith the Lord, power, now I will bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. After that they have borne their shame, and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelleth safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I had brought them again, from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shah, their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I will gather them unto their own land, and have, it says, but I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, saith the Lord power. So the Lord said that, hey, he scattered his people into many nations, but he's going to show those many nations that, you know, he's the one that caused Israel to go into captivity because of their transgressions. But he's going to exalt Israel as well. You know, Israel is not going to stay down forever. You know, he's going to raise his son up to his former estate, you know, and we're going to get that. This is this is an account. I mean, it's saying, this is Baruch chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, "Wherefore the Lord watched over us for evil, and the Lord hath brought it upon us. For the Lord is righteous in all his works, which he hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice, to walk in his commandments, to walk in the commandments of the Lord that he hath set before us. And now, O Lord God of Israel," notice that he's, you know, you can look through all the scriptures. The Lord is never, uh, he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and none else. I mean, there is no other. He doesn't say that he loves the other nations. He says they're like in the spittle, you know, or a drop that falleth from a bucket. You know, after this, I'll get it. It says, "And now, O Lord God of Israel, thou hast brought thy people out of the land of thou, Salakia." This is Baruch 2 and 11. "And now, O Lord, power of Israel, that has brought thy people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and a high arm, and with signs and with wonders and with great power, and has gotten thyself a name, as appeareth this day, O Lord our power, we have sinned and we have done ungodly, we have dealt unrighteously in all thine ordinances. Let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but a few left among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and our petitions, and deliver us from thine own for thine own sake, and give us favor in the sight of them which have led us away, that all the earth may know that thou art Lord, our power, because Israel is his prosperity. Israel and his prosperity is called by thy name. So, so what does that mean? Israel and his posterity is called by thy name. Let's get this. Posterity means all future generations of people. So the descendants of a person. So all the descendants, all the descendants of Israel are called by the Lord's name. And he didn't do that for any other nation. No other nation was called by his name. But the Lord said that he would scatter his people into the other nations. So yeah, you know, once his people are scattered into the other nations, yeah, they may lose the knowledge of who they are, but he said he's going to gather them out of all the nations that he scattered them into. So, I mean, Israel is the only one that's gonna receive the promise. No other nation is gonna receive the promise. I mean, you know, the there might be people that look like the other nations, but no, their seed, they are the posterity of Israel. They have to be the descendants of Israel because the Lord only made a covenant with Israel. Let's get that real quick. Second Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54, starting at 54. It says, Second Ezra 6 and 54, it says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Okay, so that's a separation. You know, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. I mean, so it's kind of cut and dry. It's kind of cut and dry. The Lord doesn't change. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. The Lord doesn't change. So if this is the way the Lord felt then, this is the way the Lord still feels. Although he scattered his people into those nations, and he's going to gather that seed back out of those nations. It's easy. It's an easy concept. It's an easy concept. Instead of trying to come up against the prophets, come up against the Lord's word, you need to be praying and hopefully you are of the seed of Israel, and better yet, part of the elect. But if you're not, then you're not. And there's nothing you can do about it because the Lord set up rulerships of all the different nations. Okay. Israel has been under these other nations for centuries, but Israel is going to rule and reign forever, you know. So, don't look down now because you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are in a low state. Hey, don't worry about it because, with time, this is gonna, we're coming on the changing of the guard. You know, the earth is giving into the hand of the wicked, But the Lord is going to set up one over the earth that is righteous, one that is profitable, his son, Yahweh Shah. But it says in verse 57, it says, and now, O Lord, behold these heathen. Yes, that's the other people that came of Adam, not the chosen, the other people. These heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. So, I mean, that's what the Lord did. The Lord gave us into the hands of the heathen because of our transgressions. But the Lord is not dealing with the other nations. The Lord is dealing with them because He set them up, He set them over us, He sent them to destroy us. But that's temporary. That's temporary because the Lord loves the children of Israel. The Lord doesn't love the heathens, and it's throughout all the scriptures, and they're going to get their just payback. This is This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 27, and it says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shah, their power, your power, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. So, you know, these things are going to come to pass, that the Lord is going to show who he's dealing with. The Lord is going to show who his people are, and he's going to exalt them. He's going to exalt them back to their former state. These are the things that these are the things that have been written, and these are the things that have to come to pass. This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies, for you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not the Most High. I mean, so all of these things that have transpired, the Most High is correcting his children measure by measure. But that doesn't mean that the other heathen nations are gonna get a break. They're not, because as the scriptures say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So the Lord put his children into captivity by those other nations. So guess what? Those nations have to go into captivity for what they did to the apple of his eye. I mean, it's simple. I'm gonna get this one, and we're gonna close it out. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 14. It says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, and with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. So this is back in Baruch. You know, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, because you moved the Most High to wrath. So hey, that's why the Lord chastise us as a cruel one. He put us into hardcore slavery under these goddamn devils, these Edomites and these heathens, these damn Moabites and these Ammonites and Amalek, all of our enemies, these Hamites, all these goddamn devils, you know. But it was for our correction. But he's not going to leave his children, his chosen seed, under these fucking demons. No, he's not going to do that. And no, they don't have any part. They don't have any part in salvation. Yes, there are going to be heathens on the earth, but their salvation is they're going to be saved so they can go into slavery. Because guess what? They put us into slavery. So hey, you know, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been broken down so much that you say, nobody should be a slave. No, they were made to be slaves. It's just, hey, I believe in slavery. I just don't believe I'm supposed to be a slave. Called by the Lord's name. So, but since our nation broke the laws, statutes, and commandments, you know, we had to go through this, but we're coming out of it. You know, they said the end of a thing is better than a beginning, and we're coming out of it. It says, this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 15. It says, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity. Because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. So, when people say, well, why did the Lord, how could he, have us in slavery for all of these years? Oh, that's why. That's exactly why. It says, for the multitude of thine iniquity. Sin means sin on top of sin compounded. Because we sin, we broke the law. What is sin? Let's get it. I ain't even gonna. Let's get it. Eh, no, Slaki. This is First John chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgressive also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So back in that Jeremiah, it says, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased, transgression of the law. I mean, transgression of the law. Sin is the transgression of the law. So you can't have sin without the law. And Israel made a covenant with the Most High not to break his law. We went over it in Exodus 24. All that the Lord hath said we will do and be obedient. So when we broke that and then keep breaking it, guess what? That means that the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased, that's why the Lord did those things. Then it says, this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give thee for a prey. So back to Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. So the Israelites, this is the patience and the faith of the Israelites, because the Lord said that he was going to do these things to us. But guess what? The people that he used to do them, they don't get away. Therefore, Jeremiah 30 and 16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. They that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore the health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, who no man seeketh after. So if you understand what's going on, the Lord punished his people for the multitude of their iniquity. But hey, that's only temporary, because the Lord is going to set up his kingdom on earth of an everlasting rulership. So that being said, I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom. Hopefully this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect and to the, to the brothers scattered across the four winds. You know, keep your head up. Kwam Yashala. Shalom.